It's so good to see you. How are you doing? How's things?
All good, Ben. Yeah, we're fine. You've been busy, as usual.
Yes.
Always. Yeah, plenty of happening.
Yeah, it keeps me out of trouble, Gaffer, you know. I remember Johnny phoning me and saying, here, chaps, do you fancy playing at Old Trafford? We've got Maradona, we've got Shearer and Sheringham, and Kalina's going to referee it. And I said, don't be ridiculous. How are you going to do that? Yeah, Rob's going to captain one side. Gordon Ramsay's going to captain the other. It's going to be brilliant. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'll be there in a shot if it actually happens. Never for a minute thinking it would happen. And then, well, however many years later it is.
So you played in the one with Maradona, Ben, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, that must have been fantastic.
It was extraordinary, Harry, because I think, you know, none of us really knew what to expect. I think the producer had said, look, we're expecting him to come and play for maybe 10 minutes. And, you know, but he didn't want to come off. He stayed on for the whole game. And he was such great company. It was, I've never been in an environment. I mean, it was such a shock for all of us walking out, 70,000 people at Old Trafford, you know, trying to play football against these legends. And we were, you know, the whole crowd when he first started were booing him because it was Maradona. And by the end, they were cheering and screaming and shouting because he just turned the whole crowd because he just gave it all. It was absolutely fantastic. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I love that documentary about him recently.
Oh, isn't it incredible?
I watched it a few times, you know, just what a footballer, wasn't he? Genius.
Yeah, and you kind of forget that because of what happened in later life and sort of how his life turned. But, you know, and we had a snapshot of the last time he was relatively fit and healthy, I think, because I think I'm right in saying, Matt, you lot didn't expect him to last the whole game, certainly, and he didn't want to come off, and he scored, of course, he got a penalty.
Yeah, scored against Jamie Thixton, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe he put that down on all his all-time goals.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would.
Ben, I've got a list here. Right, of players that you've played against. Right, Maradona.
Yes.
Figo, Zidane, Ronaldinho?
Yeah.
That's not bad, is it?
No.
I think you've missed a few there as well. You've missed the most important one, Harry. Paolo Di Canio.
Oh, Paolo. Did Paolo play?
Paolo played 1 year. We played at Wembley 1 year.
No, I didn't
realise
that.
Yeah, 2008.
Got this amazing picture downstairs of me and Paolo after the game. And on the pitch, and I text my mate, I said, I can't believe it. I got a picture with Paolo. And he said, forget that, because we swapped shirts. He said, I'm just watching you on television. And Paolo Di Canio is wearing Shepherd on his back, because Paolo put my shirt on. And all my West Ham fans just couldn't believe it. Because he was such a special player, wasn't he, Harry? And you managed him.
Genius, absolute genius. You know, Ben, when I signed him, I remember, you know, Terry, we needed a player. We needed to get John Hartson had gone. I was looking to bring somebody in. I said to the chairman, I want to make a signing. I need another forward player. He said, yeah, for sure, Harry, we do. You need to get somebody. I said, I fancy Paolo Di Canio at Sheffield Wednesday. And he went, no, no. And he went, I swear, you can see him now, Ben. It was like, for about 2 minutes. And he went, anybody but him, Harry, anybody, please. I went, no, I said, I love him. I think he's a G. Yeah, but it pushed the referee. I read, and Mr. Alcock, and it was on the back of that. He'd been suspended. Sheffield Wednesday didn't. He fell out with him. They didn't want him because, you know, obviously for what he'd done, his reputation, and we nicked him. He became available, and we snaffled him up. It was a big gamble, as I said before. I mean, I remember reading a Sunday newspaper. And a guy wrote a big article, Redknapp walks tightrope with no safety net underneath him, signing Paolo Di Canio. And he said he will get Redknapp the sack. Why did you sign this maniac? He shouldn't be allowed back into football. But he came to West Ham and he was incredible, wasn't he?
Different class. Tell me that story again, Harry, because when we got you on Goals On, and the number of times me and Cammy got you on, some of my favourite mornings, just hearing your stories, particularly about Paolo, but that Bradford game, Paolo, he did a sit-down protest trying to get you to take him off, and then at half-time, and then he had a fight with Frank over taking the penalty.
Oh, he should have had 3 penalties. I mean, I watched the highlights of that game just a few weeks ago, funny enough, and he had 3 absolute blatant penalties that were penalties. I think Graham Pole might have been the referee, I'm not sure. Anyway, they were all nailed on penalties, and he didn't give one of them. And Paolo's getting chopped down in the penalty box, beating somebody. In the end, he gets another, should be a penalty. He don't get the third one. He comes walking over, sits down in front of me, crosses his legs, right in front, on the side of the pitch. He sits like this. Boss, I don't play no more. I don't play no more. I can't, this referee, I can't play. We're losing at home to Bradford, I think 3-1. And I went...
This is in the middle of the game, though, wasn't it?
Yes, it's second half.
So the game's going... There's an amazing moment when Trevor Sinclair was playing right back, had to dribble round him. He was sitting down on the ball.
And they went... So we're 3... And I'm saying to him, Parlo, get up, Parlo. I can't tell you what else I was saying. I wouldn't repeat it. I'm saying, Parlo, like, please, we're losing 3-1 to Bradford. With that, Dean Saunders goes round the goalkeeper again for them, goes round our goalie, got an open goal and hits the post to make it 4-1. It should have been... Now, Parlo, the crowd starts singing, Parlo Di Canio, and he jumps up. It was like it used to be an advert when I was a kid called, it was a Mackeson advert where these beer bottles were playing football. One gets knocked over and they shout, Mackeson! And the beer bottles used to jump. And it was like someone shouted at Mackeson to Parlo. He's jumped up. Suddenly, as you say, Trevor Sinclair's running round him as he's still sitting on the floor. Gets up, decides to play on. Off he goes on a dribble, beats about 4 players. Suddenly we score 3-1. Then we score, Parlo scores 3. Then we get the penalty. Frank's the penalty taker. Parlo's got the ball. They're fighting for the ball for about a minute, aren't they?
They were pulling it backwards and forward.
Yeah. Frank's sensible lad. In the end, he thought, I can't win this argument, you know. So he lets Parlo take it, and Parlo runs up. The goalie dives, and Parlo just does a little chip, you know. Oh, we coming after. Oh, brilliant! But what a character! What a character! It's amazing. Someone gave me a picture the other day, mate. I was looking at it in a magazine. And it was, you know, where you used to go in the front entrance at West Ham, you know, where the main gates are, and you walked up there.
Well, Upton Park, yeah.
Yeah, Upton Park. Back at Upton Park, yeah, sorry. We were out there playing on the forecourt, and there's a guy with a full-length Mac on, and he's walking through, obviously going to get his ticket or something, as we're all playing. There's Bobby Moore. We used to play on that forecourt, you know, on a Friday morning. We'd have a 9-a-side out there on the concrete. And there's a guy walking as we're all playing. He's going to get his ticket, between us all, going to get a ticket or something, you know. Different.
That ended up being the car park, didn't it? That was, of course, where the car park was.
Yeah.
But they must have been, I mean, that squad and that team and those players that you were playing with back then, I mean, I wasn't lucky enough to see them play or see Bobby Moore play, but I was talking to someone about this the other day. It's funny, it doesn't matter how old you are as a West Ham fan or who you've seen. There's such pride about the fact that he is an icon for our club.
This free trade investment app is terrific. If you've ever thought about investing, this is a great way to start and to grow some wealth over the long term. It's so simple, anybody can use it. Come here, I'll show you. You can buy and sell stocks plus ETFs with none of your high commission fees you might get elsewhere. It's commission free and there's no hidden cost. Brilliant for beginners and experts. The free trade app is trusted by over 700,000 investors. Even better, if you register and fund your account via freetrade.io/Harry, you get a free share worth between £3 and £200. Oh yeah, and don't forget that when investing, your capital is always at risk, meaning your investment can go up, but they can also go down. Other charges may apply. He was fantastic. I mean, you know, Bobby had the little sports shop right facing the ground. I don't know if it was still there when he opened a sports shop. It was so tiny, it was unbelievable. But see, back in them days, Ben, there were no replica shirts. There was no such thing as a replica shirt. The only people who had the shirts was the team. You couldn't buy a West Ham shirt, a copy of it. No, there was no such thing. I know it sounds strange.
Yeah.
So Christmas, you know, if you supported West Ham and or whatever, your parents couldn't buy you a West Ham shirt for Christmas or a replica kit because there were none. There were no shirts.
So Bobby would nick him out of the changing room and sell them in his
No,
shop?
he didn't sell. No, he didn't sell. No, but he'd sell football boots. He'd have a little sports shop selling football boots, but that was it. There was no replica shirts. There was no club shop. Club shops were a thing that came much later, where you could sell. Don't ask me how it happened or how it started, or whoever thought the idea up, whoever it was. But there was no such thing as a replica
It's
shirt.
almost inconceivable for kids now. I mean, we're lucky enough. We're in Bournemouth. I've
Yeah.
got a Bournemouth scarf over my shoulder. We've got a Bournemouth mug. We've got Bournemouth towels. There's
Oh
a
no,
Bournemouth teddy bear.
nothing, impossible. You know, I used to go to Arsenal, Ben, as a kid. My dad was an Arsenal fan, so he took me to Arsenal. You know, that was where we used to get the 106 bus out of Poplar, and every Saturday my dad would take me to watch the Arsenal. But I had a scarf that my mum knitted, red and white Arsenal scarf. That
And
was
that's
it.
how you did it. That's
That
how you
was
did
it. Yeah, you had a scarf that you had to knit. You couldn't buy a scarf. You couldn't
Did you have
buy
one
a
of those
red-
rattles, Harry? We see in
Rattles,
the-
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. You used to have a rattle. We once had a rattle, but it was, you know, there were no. It seems so strange to explain to, but there weren't such thing as replica shirts back in the day. That was
it's
something that
it's
came
big
later.
business. The whole merchandise thing now is hugely important, isn't it? It's hugely important
Yeah.
to the club's brand identity.
Oh yeah, but listen, John Bond. I said the other John Bond played for West Ham for 20 odd years. He lived as you come out the front entrance, Ben. Turn right, first left up that little road there. He lived in a little terraced house there from the day he came to West Ham, got married, to the day he left West Ham.
Is that right?
That's where he lived. He
I used to
lived
walk past that house all the time because we go to the Black Line in Fairstone and walk along there.
he lived 58, 60, 70 yards from the football ground. Different world, wasn't it? Footballers lived, you know, they didn't. It was only Bobby, really, Bobby moved out, he bought a house in Chigwell, and like he had a detached house, and it was like incredible that someone had a detached house, and that was Bobby. He deserved it because he was on another level anyway. But that was what. But the rest of us, everybody else, lived in a semi or a terraced house. You know, there was no one living in detached houses.
God, so
and they
weird.
played in the World Cup final, and you know, I used to talk to Bobby about it. They got £1,000 for winning the World Cup bonus, £1,000 a man. And
But have they worked out what £1,000 would be worth these days? 1966, £1,000 would have probably got you quite a lot of.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, my first house was £6,000. So, you know, I suppose it would have got you a 6-foot terraced house.
Get you the outside loo, Harry.
Yeah, but you know, they won the World Cup. You know, we come into a competition now. They won the World Cup, England, and at the function after, the wives weren't allowed in. It was only the players, and the wives had to sit out in the hotel in the foyer waiting until the function was over before they could go out with the boys.
Because that was just what the FA did.
That was how it was. Yeah, the FA. Yeah, so they waited. And when they all finished at 10:30, 11 o'clock, then they had to go and they'd go out, they went out and had a night out. And I remember saying to Jeff, you know, I said, what did you do, Jeff? He said, well, we didn't know what to do, really. We finished the function and we went to Danny LaRue's club. Danny LaRue, remember, you know,
of course.
He said they got us a table, but it was right next to the toilets, right at the back. Now, they've just won the World Cup that day. And they're sitting in the worst table in the place by the loos, and they'd won the World Cup. It's incredible, isn't it?
Much rather if they'd lost.
Oh my God! But no, but Bobby,
was that a cabaret of some sort, Danny LaRue's?
yeah, he used to dress up, didn't he? In women's
In the drag.
clothes. Yeah, in the drag. Yeah, he was an amazing drag artist. Yeah, and
What a way of celebrating a World Cup, Ian. We're going to go to the drag club and sit by the toilet, Sarah.
sitting by the toilets, just won the World Cup.
Anyone in?
No,
But they were no
guys?
different, Ben. Them boys were just so ordinary. I mean, Bobby was, you know, they'd won the World Cup. He was, you know, he was just one of the lads. Ben, thanks ever so much for giving us your time. Lovely talking to you again, mate.
Oh, it's lovely to see you, Gaffer. Thank you so much.